Church at the bar. You're about to enter
Get down
church
on
at the
your
bar.
knees, cross your hands, close your eyes, ask God, help you understand.
I'm casting all my cares to you. Casting all my cares unto you, Lord.
You're about to enter
Down on my knees,
church at the bar.
cross my hands, close my eyes, ask God, help me understand what I'm going through. I'm just a man. It's a hard road, but it's all in God's plan.
You're about to enter church at the bar, meeting people where they are.
Today's discussion is based on the scripture which tells us to trust in the Lord with all our heart, found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 through 6.
Okay, so welcome to Church at the Bar, meeting people where they are.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to Church at the Bar, meeting people where they are. Today, I am here with my great friends. Kendall over here.
Yeah, baby.
Then we got our resident security, Akbar.
Top flight of the world, Top flight of the world,
Then we have my cousin, Krista. And of course, I am Minister G.
Of course, absolutely.
Amen.
So today, we are going to be talking about trust issues. Okay? And the topic specifically is our trust issues. What would Jesus say about our trust issues? I'm gonna preface this by this morning I was on Instagram, right? And I saw this post that this either this woman posted or somebody reposted it. It was a woman basically saying she's in a marriage with her husband. He pays all the bills. Mm-hmm. She's a stay-at-home mom. He never has ever made her feel like the house was just his because he's paying all the bills. Mm-hmm. It was never any situation where, you know, he was like stingy with her. He's giving and all of that stuff. And she said that he just got mad at her because he found out that she had been stashing money away. Unbeknownst to him.
I saw
that.
And
wait,
saw that.
right? And at the end,
making money online.
right. But wait, the end part of it was that she said the reason why she did it is because her mom raised her to always have money stashed away. And when I read it, I thought to myself, so your mom had trust issues and poured it
She
on
had
to
that
you.
sexy outfit on.
Right, yes.
Yep.
Your mom had trust issues and poured that onto you.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's causing a major
Oh
rift
my
in your
goodness,
marriage.
that's crazy.
So, trust issues. Let's talk about it. Akbar. Kendall.
Yes.
You go first, brother.
Trust
Oh my
issues,
goodness.
man.
Yeah, like trust issues.
Trust
I know y'all
issues.
got some stories. And what you think Jesus would say about those trust issues?
I don't know what Jesus would say because people don't be trusting in Jesus. So.
Well, this is true, but
Yeah.
he even loves them. He even
Yeah,
loves
he
the
loves
ones
them
that
too.
don't trust in him.
Right,
And that's
right.
that's that incredible grace that we
Oh yeah.
talked about.
That's
last time.
right. That's right. That's right.
Well, trust issues, man. Whew.
It seems like you got a lot of them, Akbar. Is that what you saying?
You know, I was out one night at a bar and I was out one night.
Oh my goodness.
I was out one night at a bar and I wasn't even intending on going to this bar. When I went to this bar, I seen this young lady from uptown I used to deal with. And as I'm in the front of the bar and she's in the rear of the bar and I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute. I know that's not the shorty who I'm, you know what I'm saying, I deal with or whatever. She's in the bar with a whole dude or whatever in the back of the bar. Mind you, I be kicking it with shorty. I kick it with her all that. I thought she's my ooh la la. See la vie, ah wee wee. But that wasn't the case. So she walk out with the dude and all that, and I step to the side. Like, let me step to the side so I can see this. And then she get
This
outside.
happened recently, Akbar?
Well, not too long ago.
Oh, sure.
And this is a young lady who I really liked a lot, and I ain't gonna disclose her name, but I liked her a lot, and
Ooh la la
she
la.
was doing me north. You know what I'm saying? She did me north. She walked out to the wheelbarrows, all in her car. She had drove me all over the car, like, yeah, So I took a picture of her and sent it to her, like, damn, this how you do me. So, you know, things like that. You know, when you're out in the bar, you don't intend to be at the bar, but then you see a chick that you really like, and they out with a whole other dude. It's like, whoa, damn, that's a bad joint.
So, let me ask you a question. When circumstances like that happen, and honestly, that sounds like it didn't happen that long ago, does it make you like have issues with trust with other people? Like, do you have issues?
It makes you have your guard up, and he's like, damn, like, you know, I mean, is the next female gonna be like this, or is this how females operate or whatever? Like,
so let me ask you a question. After having an instance like that, I'm sure you've had others, but you have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So after having instances like that, do you feel like when you do meet somebody that is nice, it's hard for you to receive the niceness because you don't believe it?
It's hard to really let your guard down. It's like it take a lot out of you for for you to make that happen. You know. So yeah.
Okay.
Because you've been through so much nonsense, it's hard to believe in her. You know.
I'm not laughing at you, Akbar. You just make funny facial expressions.
So yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. It's like difficult.
Very difficult.
But you seem to weather the storm. I mean, like I see you out here. You be going out and stuff, and it don't seem like you let too much grass grow up under your feet now.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened when you're a player from the Himalayas.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Play on, player.
What about you, Kendall?
I'm trying to figure a good story that won't tell too much, man. Trust issues. I got one for y'all. I was dating this girl for 3 years. Girl lived about, I don't want to disclose her name either, it's like you. For like 3 years. And then she was like, I got this guy at my job. He's so funny. He's so this, he's so that. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, who is he, right? Like, why you don't ever bring him around? How come he's such of a good friend now?
Right.
After the fact that, I never knew this. I never knew who this guy was for the 3 years. She was like, I went to school with him and everything. Well, fast forward, what ended up happening, this is kind of like when the internet kind of first started popping, Black Planet, y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, you took it back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling my age, too.
I don't remember that.
MySpace.
Oh, yeah, they remember that. They remember that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, I was over her house when she went to work, and I went on the Black Planet joint, and I'm going to keep 1,000 with y'all. I got on my nosy snooping stuff.
Oh, shit.
What
made you do that, though?
I'm going to tell you. What happened was the dude started calling mad late. And it was, see what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what homie calling mad late for? He just want to talk. And then one time we was laying down, and this is when, I don't know, when cell phones first came out, she had a speakerphone. And she thought I was out of the house, but I actually walked down the hallway and shut the door because I wanted to go back in the crib to use the bathroom. And I heard homie like, yo, is he there? Is he still there?
Wow.
But let me tell you, like I was saying before in a previous episode about Wood Nichols, I believe people from where they meet me at. I didn't say nothing. I'm like, I want to see it through.
Right.
So I walked back then. She, a light skinned chick, her face turned red, and she was like, "How long you been there?" I said, "I just walked up. What you mean? What's going on?" I lied, right?
Right.
Later on, me and this chick broke up.
I lied.
Later on, me and
Every
this chick
man should
broke
have a
up.
certain shirt to say that. I lied.
Yeah, you gotta be strategic with people. Let me tell you. So what ended up happening? I ended up, y'all crazy.
Sorry.
What ended up happening?
I
Me
lied
and this chick
anyway.
ended up breaking up.
Sorry.
Right.
She wound up. The dude wound up moving in the crib because something that happened. When you a good person, God look out. The person that was actually her doorman, when she would go to work, because I was in college, so a lot of times she lived in a certain spot, not trying to tell where it's at, and I went to school, which was right there, so I would meet her at her crib, and I would sit downstairs and talk to the doorman all the time.
Right.
The doorman called me one day and was like, yo, your old shorty got this dude at the crib, and I said, well, what do he look like? He's like, yo, I'm going to send you a photo of him. And it was the guy. Well, lo and behold, homeboy ended up getting her pregnant, and he left. And come to find out, they was going back and forth throughout that pregnancy. He ended up having 2 more kids while he was with her.
Wow.
Wow.
Yo, so
No, he
so,
need the
so,
shirt that say I lied.
so beat this, real quick. So I wound up running into her about 3 years later. Money was right, fresh to death, had the car, things was looking right.
Wow.
You know this chick had the nerve to ask me for $45.
Damn.
Oh, she was
doing bad. Shorty was doing bad.
Wow.
I didn't have it because I had my money in the whip, just so happened, but
Did she ask for $45 with happy endings?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But you know something? Let me keep it 1,000 with you. You never know. I
This
wasn't
is
around
church
this
at the
girl.
bar. You never know
I
what
wasn't
people are
around
gonna
this
say.
girl. I don't know what she was into.
That's a shame.
No, it was a blessing for me, but that was her
you know
path,
what? It's funny that you would have a story like that because knowing you never present like a person that has trust issues to the extent that it stops you from doing things.
That was an issue I had, but it wasn't an issue that affected me. I'll say
So
it like that.
how have you throughout the course of your life
Yeah.
had situations like that and not let it get you to the point where you can't receive a good woman if you meet her, or you can't receive how did you how have you been able to let those things go? Because there are a lot of people, men and women, who have had bad situations, maybe not even as bad as that, but they can't let them go to the extent that they can't even receive a good person when God sends them one.
Well, I'm gonna shorten it up by saying this. I'm a genuine person 1,000%, and I know that. So when something negative comes my way, that's my sign from God. Kendall, it's time for you to get something better.
Yeah.
Because I didn't cause that situation at all.
At all. But you're just so easy to let it go. You know what I think it is, though?
Yeah.
Like we were just talking in the last episode about mothers. I think that's a testament to the type of mother that you have.
Right.
'Cause obviously, she didn't pour fear onto
No.
you. So it's like you're able to, like, when bad stuff happens, I'm sure you was mad. I'm sure, whatever. But after that, you let it go.
Yeah,
and didn't carry it into any new relationship.
Mom always tried to guide my emotions, not put me in a position of being emotional.
Right.
So if I felt it, just no, can you just look at it like this?
Right.
So anytime I run upon a situation, whether good or bad, I try to look at it from both sides, be level-headed, you know, and just keep moving forward. But
I like that.
yeah,
I like
every situation I've ever had, I've always looked at it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you, appreciate that.
What about you, Crystal?
Yeah, well, I'm ready to
Trust
hear you.
issues. What do you think? I mean, have you had any instances, that you felt like God ordained me to have a trust issue in this area? Oh, she breathed heavy. That's.
Uh-oh. We get ready to get it.
We getting ready to get it.
So, trust issues. So this goes back to, because it's funny that we happen to see the same post without knowing that we saw the same post.
Right.
And when you brought it up, I knew, when you said you saw something, I knew, because there's a friend of mine that I went to high school with, he put it up and he tries to have these discussions, and he does have these discussions.
Right.
And so I commented on that post about the young lady, she's making money. And I noticed that a lot of people kept saying, well, the way she's dressed, she doesn't look like a wife. And
they all off topic.
And I said, you're off topic.
Worrying about the wrong thing.
And what my response was let's stick to the topic.
Right.
This just goes to show how our eyes and what we see,
we get sidetracked.
We get sidetracked.
Yeah.
And the point is, it's not about what she's dressed, what she has on, not about you forming opinions because she's dressed in a risque outfit and you think that when she says she's making money online that it's something that's lacking in integrity.
I didn't even,
You're thinking because she's a stay-at-home wife that she's not educated. These could not all be the cases. The point is projection. Projection.
Right.
Her mother taught her X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Line your ducats in a row. because you never know. Basically, she's saying you never know.
Because clearly something happened to her mom, probably, where
That
her mom was
scarred
like, I don't want my baby to be in that position where some man just going to be taking care of her
And it
one
happens.
day and then drop her like a bad habit.
And it happens.
Yeah, it happens. It does.
Passing down
There's so many women out here that are
passing down generational curses.
Generational
curses, and that's exactly what it is. And there's so many women out here who are married with children, and their husband just ups and leaves, and when they do, they are stuck.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that end of it,
Right.
because it makes sense.
Right.
But the bottom line is projection.
Yeah. So do you feel like, I mean, because I don't feel like you're a person with trust issues, really. But I mean, you feel like situations have projected that onto you?
I do feel that way. And also, too, what has been projected onto me.
From things that you learned,
From things that I've seen.
from childhood,
From things,
seen,
from
and
things that
learned.
I've seen and was told and learned.
Right.
You know, so I feel like a lot of this, and a lot of our issues and trust issues is about projection. Because just like that young lady, that whole synopsis, and my mom told me, you know, make sure that
make sure you always
she doesn't see anything wrong with what she's doing.
Yeah, and because the question at the end was, is she wrong?
Is she wrong?
And yes, she is.
She is wrong.
She is wrong. I can understand why she did it.
But then we can
but
understand
she's wrong.
why.
Especially when, like, the description was saying, like, she had a husband, he's paying all this stuff, and he's never making her feel like, you know,
it's all his.
It's all his.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, that's very rare to have a man to take care of you and he's not treating you like you're one of the children.
Right,
or
right.
talking to you like, well, this is my house and I'm letting you stay in my house. You know what I mean?
That's what you be without me.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be on the pose if it wasn't
Right.
me.
Or even not even that. Even if he's not even to that extreme, even if he's nice, quote unquote.
Right.
But he's just, you know, sliding them little comments in there. Oh, well, I'm letting you stay in my house. You know, to get all them type of things. Like,
Right,
right.
he's not doing any of that, but she's still, the trust issue that her mom had inside her, you know, she planted that seed so deep.
Mm-hmm.
And he sounded like a loving husband.
Right. So like, and he was, and
He wasn't upset about the money.
he was upset about the line. It's like she hid it from him, and he was like,
And that's what
why would you would never have to hide anything like that to me. And that goes back to what I was saying, like, how did you not let Kendall, like, when you were certain things that happened to you, not put you in a position where now when someone good comes, you can't even receive it? Because people's parents do that. People's parents from like childhood
Projection.
might have certain trust issues, and they project them onto their children, and they project them and plant the seed so deeply that, you know, you meet this person and they have like this majorly bad, horrible trust issue, and it's not necessarily just because of the experiences that they've had, but it's because before the experiences they've had, their parent, you know, so deeply planted this
And they don't
sprout
even
of fear.
realize it.
And they don't even realize it.
Because it's so normalized.
But you know the thing that's bad about it? It's like it can prevent you from like living. It can prevent you from experiencing something.
From blossoming.
Good. Like, if any of you ever had that situation where circumstances that have happened in your life made you have a trust issue, and then maybe not immediately after that, but sometime after that, the opposite situation came that really was good, and you really couldn't receive it as well because you were thinking back on that. Yeah, tell us about that.
You couldn't receive it.
I'll tell you. After my breakup with that girl, I was confused. Like, dang, what do I need to look for for a person who's like that? And when I was meeting new women, I would try to like slide that question in, and then I would get into a rant like, I don't understand, and the conversation will be about me figuring out what I need to look for so I wouldn't go through that again. But them women knew, like, he's talking about an old relationship, he's not over.
Right.
But I just didn't want to have that stumbling block again moving forward.
So
and that was an issue because, you know, I was blessed with, because those women were, you know, better
women,
better women than the one who I dealt with before. And I kind of wasted my time dealing with the situation from the past when I should have been moving forward with them. Yeah. You know. But
so like blurred your vision. You couldn't even see the
a little fog there.
Yeah.
A little fog there, you know what I'm saying? But ironically, those women who I'm talking about, we never like took it to that next level, and we're friends to this day. So
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what? Trust issues. So, are you indicating that this is someone that caused you to have trust issues, or you already had trust issues, and this is someone that proved?
No, my issue with me was I felt like I should have been able to see the red flags. That's what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm talking about. I should have been able to see the red flags.
Right.
So my thing, I was super inquisitive when I would meet women, somebody I can see, she seemed intelligent or whatever. I'm like, well, what will make a person do this? And that question would spawn off into a conversation that will be hours and hours long, instead of me saying, "Hey, girl, you look nice. Let's go out on a date and get to know each other."
You couldn't even see her for her because you're trying to look for the other woman in her,
or look for the situation that could happen.
Those red flags.
You're
so busy looking for the red flags, you couldn't see the green ones.
Well, I was thinking. The thing is, I'm the type of person I don't like repeating mistakes. So I try to figure out what maybe I should have been able to see, and then when you talk to somebody, you can kind of gauge whether or not you know what I'm saying, they're intelligent enough or not. Like when your mom or your dad or whatever, or whoever gave you advice, it's a situation where you say, well, you know something, yo, Dad, what can I look for in a good woman? And like what was the job? What were the things that having a good job?
Oh yeah, does he have a car?
Does he have a car? Stuff like that. So when I was dealing with these women, I was asking them like, there was something that I could have maybe looked for in that old chick that kind of played me, that to help prevent me from going through that in the future. And that would turn into a long conversation. And now that I look back, it was because, simply put, she just wasn't for me.
But what do you think? What do you think? Why do you think you ignored the red flags?
Let me tell you, when it comes red flags, a lot of the times, get presented very subtly. And if you're kind of in the hype of a lot of things, at the time, I'm living life. I'm going to school. I got. I'm working, I'm doing this, I got family, I don't have any kids, but, I'm a big family guy. I hang with my mom, father, cousins, stuff like that. So when I was dating, think about it, when you're doing all these things in your life, you're really only kicking it with the person that you're dating for like a good 45 minutes to an hour. When you really put that time together throughout that day, so little subtle stuff, and you just be like, whatever, it's probably not a big deal, but as time goes on, those things start elevating because people get comfortable.
Yeah.
And they start making their moves a little bit bolder. And then by that time, it may be a year, 2 years, engagement, marriage, any of that. I didn't go that route. We just dated, but
you could have maybe if you would have missed those things.
See what I'm saying? And that happens. But in my case, I was blessed, because what was that? Having discernment.
Yeah.
Right? I've always been really good with seeing the angles. And that's why a lot of times I don't approach situations that I already know that are negative. I'm not going to engage in nothing I already know that's not right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's like, all the stuff that you are saying it makes sense. It's like, and I know you as a person, so you're a pretty level-headed person when it comes to, like, when you're talking about red flags, they're actual red flags. But there are some people that I know that are so busy looking for red flags, they literally cannot see the green ones. Like, because somebody has implanted a trust issue so deep in them that they are living in fear. And they can't even see it. It's like they're scared to talk to people. They're scared to get in relationships. They're scared to live. So they're not living. Like, life is passing them by. Like, your friends are having kids and they're getting married and other people are living all around them and they're not living. And meanwhile, it's like whoever taught them that is still sitting back like, well, you did the right thing.
And they live their whole life.
You gotta watch people, but you live
their whole life. Whoever taught them that, whoever taught them and implanted that seed has already lived their whole life.
Right.
They've already lived their whole life.
That's an extremely
So they've already done everything, made all their mistakes, had all their experiences, and they've implanted this seed, and they don't even realize that they have bred something that doesn't even want to live.
But you know what?
You lived.
You lived. Right. You swang from every chandelier you wanted to, and
every vine.
Right.
And every
the funny thing about that is though.
And every curtain rod.
You are stupid, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
You are stupid.
You know what I'm talking about? And every curtain rod.
But it's funny because it's like, I understand like people want, especially like when people have kids or like nieces and nephews, even younger people that you experience. Like you want to try to prevent them from getting hurt, right? Like you want to give good advice, or even when you meet friends that have not lived past the moment that you're in, and you can offer some wisdom to them in certain areas. You want to be able to do that. Yeah. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. Like saying, hey, watch X, Y, or Z. In my experience, this happened, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen for you.
Light to caution.
But the problem that I have sometimes with the major trust issue where you're like pouring it on somebody, like, don't do that. Well, that ain't work for me, so don't try it. Mm-hmm. It's like you're assuming that by giving this advice, and if the person listens to it, that you're actually saving them from something, or you're actually preventing them from some uncomfortable end, because ultimately in life we all have to experience pain down here. That's a fact of the Bible. Mm-hmm. Like man born of woman is of but a few days and a lot of trouble. So that means that we can't escape the trouble. So like whether you escape the relationship trouble, you're not going to escape money trouble. If you don't escape that, you're not going to escape other types of trouble. It's just like trouble in this world. It's just like what it is, and we all are going to make mistakes, and ultimately those mistakes are sometimes really good because they help us to learn how to live better. Yeah.
It's okay to make the mistake. It's all if you learn from that mistake, not to make the same mistake again.
That's right. That's right. And how can people learn if they're not, if they're being so obedient to somebody that's pouring like this fear? It's like you're not even going to get your experiences. Because we're all able to talk about this subject because we have had experiences. I've had many, many, many experiences where there was trust damaged, right? Like from a little girl, like even like in school with friendships.
Me too.
All types of like just.
And it starts early.
It starts early.
It really does, and it's not always in the sense of intimate relations. It's interactions.
Yeah.
It's all interactions.
Yeah.
I had a babysitter who was not good to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that right there, I'm going to leave that there because it may be the full story, maybe something for another subject matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Later down the line. But aside from the main thing that she did to me.
Yeah.
And she was 12 and I was about 4 or 5.
Wow.
I'm not even going to get into the core.
Right.
But what she also used to do was she used to take me outside, and the kids in the neighborhood, she would like make them beat me up.
Oh no.
And so and that's how I learned. So a lot of people say like I'm mean, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, but I learned to defend myself very early.
Yeah.
I learned to I think that made me defensive. It made me really defensive
that's
at
a trust issue.
Very young age.
Right.
And then that's where my trust issues began.
Yeah.
Because this is my
babysitter and you're a child.
And usually, in the sense of the word, a babysitter. So a babysitter is usually someone that your parents ordained and trust.
Wow.
Enough.
So did that make you feel like you can't trust adults as a child?
Well, she was about 12, 13.
Right.
It just made me not trust. It just disrupted. It just started to disrupt everything.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And so this is who your parents say that they trust for you to be in their hands.
Yeah.
And I believe that our trust issues start very young, and by all of our experiences with other people, what they've done, how they've done it, and it lets you see the earlier on that you see how mean the world can be.
Yeah.
I think that's the more damaged you become.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let me ask y'all this though. So, which was really the initial question then. Everybody has given valid reasons for the issues of trust that you have. I mean, we all have had things that have happened to us. Those people that know me know I went through a divorce. I've had many betrayals in my life. What do you think if Jesus was to walk in here right now and have a conversation with you about your trust issues? what do you feel like he would tell you about your trust issues and the things that you maybe missed because you were carrying them?
Well, because of you and because of our conversations and because of the knowledge base that you have and what you've awakened me to, I've started looking up Bible verses and trying to get a better understanding.
That's good.
And it's so real.
Yeah.
And so the other day, and you know, I just and it's crazy because when this conversation first began, I looked at my phone and I said, wow. And we are told and we are instructed. And I'm not trying to be no minister.
We all are ministers. The Bible asks us men.
I am not a minister.
So we're all ministers of the gospel of Jesus. We all ministers. Go ahead.
Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from more flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. So with that being said, I think that if Jesus were to walk into this room right now, he would say, I told you so.
Right, like you shouldn't trust them. Why was you trusting them over me anyway?
Anyway.
Right, anyway.
Oh, that's
a good one. Oh,
you know what I mean? And I am not, you already know that I'm very like,
I know. She's very spiritual and zen and crystals. I'm burning incense and I've got sage and I'm in my element and I'm not looking at the 3D.
I like our chakras.
Yes.
Right. But at the end of the day, the truth is, and this is what I love about great people.
Yeah.
Because we open ourselves to one another and we open our worlds to one another and it awakens us in such a beautiful way. So I began to look up Bible verses.
I'm glad.
And well, I carry this Bible everywhere. And I showed you. I wanted you to be proud of me.
I'm proud of you. Jesus is proud of you. I'm glad that you're going through a new journey in your life. It's here at the Minister Jamie Church at the Bar, meeting people where they are show. I don't judge people. We do not judge people. That is not. I don't.
Not at all.
I'm not. Your journey is your journey, and God will see you through. He is perfectly capable
of knowing,
of leading you to where you need to go. And it is not my business, honey, but I will share with you what Jesus said.
Amen.
What thus saith the Lord. I will.
What say ye?
I will. Oh wait, what say ye? What say ye? I will. That's not. That's another discussion.
That's
kind of another topic a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. It's good to ask questions because then when you ask questions, you get the answers.
And that's another thing. I get so confused because when I pulled that up, and when I was trying to understand certain things, and okay, so we're not supposed to trust the flesh. Well, but then on the other end, then it says in relationships that the relationship is a blessing, and
absolutely.
It's something that we are supposed to free ourselves of. So sometimes I get a little confused because it says this here and it says that there, but then I started to understand trust in the Lord.
Yeah, the ultimate trust is in the Lord.
Trust is in the Lord.
If you're trusting in the Lord, then you don't have to worry about the trust issues because you shouldn't even really be pouring all of your energy into anything else that way anyway. So you feel like he will come in here and tell you, I told you so. What do you, Kendall and Aqua, what do you feel like?
Me, Crystal.
Yeah, what do you guys feel like, Jesus would say to you about your trust issues?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I've always poured a lot of my energy into to what would God think about what I'm doing, and that really kept me grounded. I would think that he would say, you already are doing that part of it. Just take in the fullness of the moment. Because sometimes, you start, when you have an issue with something or you believe what a person may do to you, because they may be very well capable of doing certain things, you may tend to be a little callous. At least myself, I'll be a little callous. Not, like, I'll close myself off, to people, and I'll focus on, like, whatever goal that just involves me. I won't do anybody dirty, but I'm going to stay focused on what I got going on. And a lot of times people, they may get a good relationship, like, yeah, but my wife thinks we need to do this, or my girlfriend thinks we need to do that. When I look at people a lot of the times that are like that, one of the issues we're talking about, when I look at people like that, I'm like, that might not be the best thing. They may need to just focus on God.
Right.
And I've always been like that.
So you feel like Jesus would tell you to focus on Him too, basically?
Or just keep going with what you're doing.
Keep going what you're doing
Keep
and
doing what
be
I'm doing.
fearless.
That thing.
Be fearless.
This is why you got good people around. She can
move forward fearlessly.
Yeah.
What you feel like Jesus would tell you, old boy?
I feel like Jesus tell me you gotta trust yourself first.
You gotta trust yourself first. You know what? That's kind of a good one because the Bible says that the Spirit of God lives in us.
Yes.
So if the Spirit of God is in fact living in us, then yeah, you should trust yourself. Just for a final thought, I feel like there is definitely reason in life for us to all have trust issues. Because with the bumps and bruises of life, we have so many sometimes negative experiences, and it teaches us, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to say this, I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to watch that. But ultimately, the Bible does tell us to trust in the Lord. And one perfect scripture, it tells us that without faith, it's impossible to please God. And that's an interesting one because it shows that fear is not of God.
No.
And trust issues, the basis of that, the root of that is